99.9 Punk World Radio FM. We are live on the radio and, of course, on the YouTube channel as well. And we're joined by a phenomenal, talented musician and comedian. This one's super special because this is the very first time in all my years of doing Punk World Radio that I get to put on an amazing individual from the same hometown as mine. We got Brockville, Ontario, Canada's own. We got Aaron Hill right here live on the radio. Aaron, how you doing tonight all the way out there in Brockville, dude?
I'm doing great, DJ Immortal. Thanks for having me. It's really cool to be here.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, man. How's everything going out in Brockville? I will admit, I know I'm out here in Ottawa, but I have not been back to my hometown in almost close to a year, man. So I will admit I have no clue what's going on. I heard we got a Mary Brown, so that's kind of cool.
That is true. I haven't been. I'm watching the waistline. It's about the same cozy little sleepy town. You know, the drivers, careen around the corners at about 12 kilometers an hour, and because they're all 90 years old. Typical Brockville.
I will say though, my motto with Brockville that I've always said, and I will say this, I think we can get away with talking a little bit of slack about against Brockville because we're from there. I've always said Brockville is the place you go to die because it's a retirement city, man. When it's like a black hole, once it sucks you in, good luck getting out.
But apparently none of them died. They just continue to live and drive really slow on the streets.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, it's a cool, cozy place. I dig it. There's a lot of small town charm. There's a lot of, I lived in Ottawa for 13 years before I came here. So, I mean, the big city's got the big city ills and the big city attitudes and, a lot of that kind of jazz. It was actually a nice contrast when I came back out here. So I dig it. And I like that it's relaxed. People are friendly, right? They do have that kind of hometown spirit. And it's nice and refreshing after kind of Ottawa beating the spirit out of me for quite a few years.
And for people that don't know Brockville as well, I just want to paint the picture. Home of the Canadian flag. So, it was created in Brockville, Canada's first railway tunnel. We got Blockhouse Island. I might talk a lot of flack about Brockville, but our hometown definitely has a lot of amazing stuff to it as well. So, I might diss it, but I still love it.
Well, you kind of got to diss it to tolerate. I mean, anywhere you live, you're going to have those, you're going to experience the worst and the best. And it's you're right. It's good to embrace talking a little bit of smack because that's the only way you can really make sense and actually stay here, right? Otherwise, we just leave if it was really intolerable, right? So.
But Aaron, I know you're a phenomenal, gifted comedian. But before we actually get into that, I want to get into the musician side of things. And I was wondering, what ultimately inspired you to actually get into the music industry, man? Because I've heard your comedy, I've heard your music. I really think, man, you're a jack of all trades. There's nothing that you cannot do. Because I'm telling you, your musical side of things is absolutely phenomenal.
I really appreciate that. I always wanted to be a musician first. And I mean, there is that cliche of every comic wants to be a musician and every musician wanted to be a comedian, So I was always wanting to get into music at some point. And then it kind of became an issue of you ever try to get involved in a band and have 4 dudes kind of coordinate scheduling, coordinate practice, it's kind of a nightmare, And so the whole band situation never really took off for me, but I always just loved to write at home. And of course, now with the technology, you can kind of record an album in your living room, which is more or less what I did. And so that's always been my goal, is to pursue music on that level. But comedy is so cool because you're also up there performing, you're on stage, and there's literally zero overhead, right? You don't have to carry a gear in. You don't have to load in and load out. You bring yourself and you bring your wits and your jokes, and that's all you need, right? So that's the beauty, and that's why I think I really took to comedy in that sense. It allows me to perform. It allows me to get up there and be creative without all the logistical problems that come with playing in a band,
And especially being from a small town as well, man. I mean, sometimes it's hard to find band members out there. We've had a lot of great bands come through Brockville as well. We've had Choices. We've had I know Ambush is from Ottawa, but they're pretty much like lived in Brockville for like I don't know how many years. There's a lot of great musicians in Brockville, but it's also a small town trying to come across musicians to put together a full piece band. But sometimes it's better just to go solo.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, like with today's technology, you can, right? I mean, I do play drums too. I live in an apartment now, so I don't have a drum kit anymore. But I did when I was at my mom's house. So I learned how to play drums, but now I can just program them, right? But I'm programming them how I would, like I'm writing the program. I'm not just kind of hitting the AI button, you know what I mean? So it's really amazing what you can kind of do. And I guess it's a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, music, I believe, is kind of supposed to be shared with other people. And in the process of making this album, you're sitting on a computer for a lot of the time, and it can get pretty isolating. And you're like, this isn't what music is supposed to be about. But so it's a double-edged sword, you know?
And also as well, June 23rd of last year, you actually released a phenomenal 9-track album titled Small Town Empty. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this record. And of course, where can we stream it today? Because I do know you briefly spoke about it when you said you recorded it in your apartment, but if you can just break down this phenomenal record with us.
Yeah, for sure. The name is kind of... I just noticed it was an overarching theme throughout maybe 2 or 3 songs on that album. I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, actually, which is another small town in Northern Ontario. And that experience kind of shaped a lot of just how I felt and how I saw the world, right? And it felt very isolating to me because like I said, I mean, I always wanted to get out there and perform, right? Music. And the Sioux is really isolated. There's not much around there. I mean, the next closest town is Sudbury, and it's like 3.5 hours down the highway, right? So that was kind of like a bit of a formative experience, and that kind of comes through in the lyrics on this record. And then, I had, of course, I moved out to Brockville during the pandemic, and that was another experience I had where it's just like, okay, now I'm back in this super small town, and everything's on lockdown. So it's super like isolating feeling, right? And then I've just a little bit of traveling throughout Canada and just vacationing in little towns here and there. I just thought that was kind of like a good through line for the album. But musically, I mean, it kind of draws from a lot of different genres. Certainly there's like a big punk bend in there, but you've got your classic rock, you've got your alternative rock for sure, right? So it's I really just took from everything that has kind of ever inspired me musically, and that really I kind of felt like ingrained itself into my musical DNA. And I wasn't trying to like rigidly stick to any one genre, so it's a bit of a mix and match stylistically. But I thought the theme anyway was a little bit cohesive in that it was just kind of like you could kind of wrap it all around the small town living in one way or another.
And I got to say, the songs Speak for Yourself and Dopamine are actually 2 of my favorite tracks off this record. Man, the whole record is thoroughly fantastic, but Speak for Yourself and Dopamine are my 2 favorites.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, those are fun songs, man. And I think those are a little bit more punky, a little bit rocky. Like they got a little bit of adrenaline going, right? Yeah, Speak for Yourself is one of my favorites. It's kind of a bit of a response to the culture I think we've had over the last decade or two of a lot of people want to stand up for other people and speak on other people's behalf and this and that, and that can run into some problems sometimes. So sometimes I just feel like let other people solve their own problems, and we can speak for ourselves, right? So that's kind of what that's about.
And I got to say, I love the album artwork actually on this record. I mean, it's simple, but it also has the vibe of of a small town on it. I got to ask, was that actually a stock image you found, or is that an actual image that you took during your travels throughout Canada?
Yeah, we went out to the East Coast, and we stayed just outside of Halifax in East Lawrencetown. Really, really small beach community, and it was that's where actually the song track 7. God, I don't even remember the name of the song, but that's where that song was written. It was just about sitting on the harbor in Halifax and watching the boats go by and stuff like that, and just that whole beach vibe. But that photo was actually in Halifax. We were just walking down the street, and I thought those houses just looked so cool, and I just felt they captured that small town energy, though, even though it is technically Halifax. But that was kind of the vibe. So yeah, I figured it was pretty fitting.
And going into your comedy side of things, man, I got to ask because obviously, as we talked about, you're a very talented musician. You got a record out that came out last year. But going backwards a little bit, what got you into comedy? Because I do know your brother Lewis as well is another phenomenal comedian, which I will admit at one point, I did not know that there was two of you. I didn't know you were twins. I remember at one point I got you all mixed up. It was a weird scenario there, but I actually did not know that until like I met you and of course Lewis, and I realized, damn, they're doppelgangers. But with that being said, can you tell us a bit more about your comedic journey and how did yourself and your brother kind of get into the world of comedy?
Yeah, I don't know if you're just using that phrase, twins. We're not actually twins, but we do get mistaken a lot for each other, even within the comedy community. So don't feel alone on that front. Yeah, man, comedy again. I always loved stand-up comedy. That was always something that again, we grew up in a small town. There wasn't necessarily a lot to do, so putting on a record in high school and just laughing with your buds, right? It was pretty formative experiences for me. So I always loved to do it, but I didn't really. It didn't click in my head that was something you could do because there was no comedy clubs in Sault Ste. Marie. Very seldom would a performer kind of come through that way, right? Because again, it's just out of the way, right? It's not on the regular circuit of performers. So it wasn't until I came to Ottawa, kind of in my 20s, and a friend we grew up with in Sault Ste. Marie was actually bartending at a Yuck Yucks, and we were going to go out that night, and we went to pick him up at the end of his shift, and I happened to catch like 15 minutes of this headliner's set. And as soon as I walked in there, I was just like, what is this? This is just phenomenal, right? The atmosphere was just, I don't know why. Like I knew Yuck Yucks was a thing, but it didn't occur to me that like people were telling jokes in basements and people were laughing their heads off. And I instantly just started a folder on my computer of like ideas that I might want to explore down the road, given the right circumstances or whatever, just something in the back of my head, right? And I just kept on adding to that pile. What actually pushed me over the edge to get up on stage for the first time was actually I was injured on the job site. I got a pretty gnarly concussion, and I wasn't able to work for quite some time. And there's a lot of stuff that I just couldn't do, couldn't really exercise, you know. So I was like, there's never been a better time. I have nothing else that I can do. I'm gonna write 6 minutes and go try my luck. So I did, and instantly it was pretty awesome. So that was it, man. I've been at it ever since.
And I got to say, one of my favorite bits that I've actually heard you do live was actually the Brockville bumper sticker bit, dude. Every time I hear that, I absolutely laugh my freaking ass off.
Yeah, see, it's funny because there's a show that happens in Brockville now as well. It's a monthly show at the Keystorm Pub, run by our buddy Chad Noonan. But I find it. I don't always do the Brockville material in Brockville because it's such a small town. People like. I kind of appreciate my anonymity, right? Like I still don't know everybody here, but I feel like there's only 25,000 people. Like it's only a matter of time, right? And I just don't want to be the guy who's just always talking shit because everyone's gonna know, right? Like I did this Keystorm show last week, and I got this really new bit I'm trying that's about the old drivers of Brockville, and yeah, it gets a little dicey and shit talky at the end. And I was like, it's not ready yet. It needs more work before I really bring it out for the people of Brockville. Because then I gotta be ready to face them at the grocery store the next day. You know what I mean? So I actually haven't been telling that bumper sticker joke in quite some time. Although I do enjoy that one too. Yeah.
And I will say it is also the Key Storm in downtown Brockville. So, I mean, just for people that are watching around the world, just to paint the picture, Key Storm, phenomenal pub, but a smack dab downtown Brockville. And honestly, it kind of gets like, I wouldn't say it's not your normal typical bar. It has a lot more ritzier type vibe and more ritzier customers. It's not your typical dirty commercial down the road. This is a very high class pub. So I would definitely say the bumper sticker bit definitely would rub some elbows, but that's comedy, right? I mean, if you go to a comedy show and you get offended, best bet, just come back on a night when there's no comedy going on.
Well, yeah, that's just it, right? And it is in good fun. By the way, that one is. I did do a recording of that one. You can find it on my YouTube channel. That's that one's out there in the ether. If you want to find it, you can.
And also as well, speaking of recordings as well, March 20th of 2021, you actually released a comedy album titled Are You Ready to Rock, Paper, Scissors? I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this comedy record. And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves a copy of it today for the people that haven't already got theirs?
Yeah, for sure. It's streaming everywhere. You can buy your own copy on Bandcamp. And yeah, that record, it's a musical comedy record. It's just a single. Basically, there's 2 songs, I think. And yeah, the one was Not Gonna Eat Your Bum, I believe is the song is called. Kind of based on one of the bits I have in my act. Basically about, I don't know, man. You can call me a prude if you want, whatever it is. But like when I was growing up, that wasn't really so much of a thing. And then it seemed like all the kids overnight just thought it was so cool, and like that was the new hot thing to do. And I was kind of like, you guys are ridiculous. Like, what are you really that desperate to be cool that you're you know what I mean, you're gonna go down the Brown River there? So I wrote a bit about it, and that turned into a song. I got a music video for that on my YouTube as well, featuring some lovely folks from the Ottawa comedy community. And then yeah, the other song on that album is called Part-Time Casual Stepdad. So that's kind of just a fun look at I moved out to Brockville. I moved in with my girlfriend, and she's got a 10-year-old daughter. So she's awesome, and we have a lot of fun. But I think it's a situation that I think is worthy of poking some fun at, right? So that's kind of what that's about. And there's a video for that on my YouTube as well, actually.
And Aaron, going back to the just a track, Not Gonna Eat Your Bum. You know what I blame that on? I blame that on Clerks too, because remember when they were having the whole kerfuffle back and forth, being like, ass to mouth, you don't go ass to mouth, but you do. I blame it on Clerks too, dude. That's what I do. Mike Smith, we're looking at you. It's your fault.
I don't think you're wrong, right? I think that was one of the first times in our quote unquote zeitgeist that subject came across, right? Like in a popular way. And I think you might be right about that one. Yeah.
I will say, I mean, I know when I was younger, man, when it came to Jay and Silent Bob, I was just repeating quotes nonstop. I will admit, I'm 31 now, man. And then I still the odd time go snoochie boochies. I mean, it lives rent free in your head, dude.
Porch monkeys. We're bringing it back.
Oh man, you can't go wrong with Dante. Have you seen? Actually, I totally know this is taken away from the interview, but have you seen the newest Clerks 3 movie?
Not 3, no.
I will not ruin it, but man, it is. But I will tell you, you will cry at the end. And yes, I'm being serious. You will cry. So, I mean, let's say somebody dies, and it's not Randall. That's all I'm saying.
Dang. Yeah.
So I mean, make sure you get the popcorn and tissues, bro. Popcorn and tissues.
Yeah, got it.
But with that being said, man, because like this comedy record is phenomenal. Do you have any plans to actually re-release another one actually in the future? Because I know this one's it's going on about 5 years since you actually released a comedy record.
Yeah, not much in the immediate future in terms of records. I want to. My thing right now, my day job is kind of sporadic. I'm a casual Canada Post, right? And I happen to be getting like some full-time hours now, but that can change pretty quickly. So it's kind of tentative on what I'm able to plan on doing for the medium future, let's call it. I think the next album or recording I want to do, I really want to put some production value into it and like save some money and do it right. So. When that will happen kind of depends on my work situation, but it is it is in the works. It might be 1 year, it might be 2.5, but I think sometime in the reasonably near future, yeah, I'm going to try to do something of quality and really get it out there. Yeah.
And speaking of something of quality as well, I saw some amazing stuff on your YouTube where you had a brief comedic series actually titled Campy Accounts. I was wondering if you can actually tell us the story behind Campy Accounts. And of course, are you actually going to be doing any more of those in the future as well? Because I found those absolutely hilarious.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was actually, there was a foundation called the Foundation for Canadian Comedy, I believe. They got a lot of different sponsors and a bit of government funding. And basically they were putting out grants for any kind of pitch that you wanted to do, as long as it had to do with comedy. And I pitched that series, just a sketch series around camping, more or less, because I'd always kind of wanted to try my hand at it, right? But that's one of those things, again, kind of like forming a band, right? Logistically, it can be very challenging. You got to have, like, a couple people at least, cameraman, sound, right? Like editing. There's a lot going on there. So I figured I'd pitch for that grant, and that way that would help me with just the funding of it, right? So that's what I did, and basically I just wanted to do something about camping. I just love camping, right? So I figured, what better way to get out, with my buddies and kind of get paid to make some fun videos about something I like doing anyway, right? So that's where that came in. We shot all those sketches in one day. It was logistically challenging. It was also a heat warning that day, so if you watch some of those sketches, you could see, like, we're pretty sweaty by like 9 a.m. It was actually like the longest day ever, and we were all so exhausted by like midday. But heck of a good time, featuring a lot of other great Ottawa comedians. You had Jeff Davis in there. You had David Haddad and Nick Gent, and yeah, we just had a blast doing that. And I don't see anything. I don't see any more of those coming down the road unless I get another grant. But I think more of what's going to be from now on is just kind of making my own sketches, right? Like, it was nice to be able to learn with someone else's money, to be honest, right? It was a very and I did all the jobs on that. So like I casted it, I wrote them, I directed, I acted in them, and I edited all, right? I did the sound. So I really did take advantage of learning all the roles that I possibly could. And I think that set me up to be able to kind of do it on my own. Just give me a foundation for going forward. And I've started to experiment with that. So I plan on doing a lot more of just my own kind of sketches going forward.
And when you said Jeffrey Davis a few moments ago, I have to say, shout out to that guy, one of the coolest dudes, but I feel bad for anybody that pisses him off, because he could actually verbally rip your freaking head right off with his words, man. I've seen him verbally abuse so many people on stage, and I'm just so glad it wasn't me, because I don't take stuff seriously, man, but that man is great at what he does. One of my first Yuck Yuck shows, this man actually got on stage. I had a bucket of beer because I just wanted to get messed up. I had a bucket of beer, and he ended up like taking one of my beers out, and he's like, "This is mine now." And then the next thing, after he got off set, the woman came over and handed me a new bucket, and I was like, I don't want another one. I can't afford another one. And she's like, No. The guy over there bought it for you. He bought me a whole ass bucket of beer because he stole one of my beers, and I let it happen.
Oh my God, that's hilarious! What a big
I immediately thought, man, that I was actually going to have to pay. I'm like, no, man, I can only afford one bucket. What are you doing? But speaking of Yuck,
yeah, Jeff's. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I think there was a little bit of a delay going on there. No, my apologies, Aaron.
Oh yeah. Oh, I just yeah. I'll just echo what you said. Jeff's an absolute beast. I love watching him, and that's kind of his thing. It's just roasting people to their face in a way where you like him for doing it, and it's a fine line to walk, and he does it quite well. And the beauty about him too is that, like, he has a lot of good jokes. he doesn't do them very often, because what he'll do is just walk on stage and just start rolling off the top of his head. And it's some of the most brilliant stuff that you can find in Ottawa. So if you get a chance, I would recommend checking out my buddy Jeff.
And speaking of rolling on stage, this Wednesday you will be right here in Ottawa on Richmond Road at Yuck Yucks, as you will be hosting the new artist showcase that will be featuring Jake Storm. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about your up and coming show here in Ottawa, Ontario at Yuck Yucks. And of course, where can we actually snag or sell some tickets, man? Because I highly suggest anybody watching come out to the new artist showcase. Even if you don't know the names, I guarantee you will walk out absolutely laughing your ass up, or with piss pants because you laugh so goddamn hard.
Most definitely. Yeah, this one's going to be fun. We got our buddy Jake Storm featuring this Wednesday at Yuck Yucks. He's a great, really fun, really silly, really kind of goofy vibe. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets, just go to the Yuck Yucks website. You can get them there. Yeah, so new talent showcase, that's just like either you got a whole range of people coming in, right? Anything from people doing it for the first time to like, pro-ams coming to work on materials. Occasionally you'll get a Tom Green who just happens to drop in, right? You never really know what's going to happen on those nights, so they're super fun. And I think it's only like $10, so it's just a no-brainer. It's going to be a great time every Wednesday, possibly every Thursday too, but definitely every Wednesday. So yeah, check that out. And yuckyucks.com for tickets.
And with that being said, courtesy of Dylan Black, I've been holding on to this gift certificate since this interview. So I will do this. I have a table for 10 for Yuck Yucks, courtesy of Dylan Black. And it is yours. All you have to do is be the very first person to watch this interview and DM me. A table of 10, courtesy of Dylan Black and 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. That way you, your friends, your mom, your aunt, your uncle, as long as you don't bring your mother that gets offended all the time. But either way, if she does, there's a back door. But with that being said, table for 10, on courtesy of Dylan Black, Yuck Yucks, and 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. Message me. First one to message me gets the tickets. You can come see this fine man live. And of course, so many up and coming and veteran comedians. So just message me and the table for 10 is yours. But remember, don't wait. Message me because first come, first serve.
DJ Immortal, giving away those tickets. Love it, buddy. Love it.
I've been holding on to this man for a great time. I think I've had these in my possession for about a month, dude. When I booked you for an interview, I'm like, perfect. This is how we're going to do it. Not even tell the people, just if you watch it, you're listening, you want the tickets, you message me. I'm telling you, it's going to be great, man. A table for 10, the vibe's great, the drinks are good, and the food is always scalding hot, man. You can't go wrong with Yuck Yucks.
You bet. That venue's awesome. Basement of Biagio's, very nice, very kind of, it's not like the old Yuck Yucks that was filthy and in a dark basement. This is very, very nice. Low ceilings, so the laughter just bounces around. Always a good time. Yeah.
And also, I heard there's actually, I haven't been to it yet, but there's a new Yuck Yucks venue, if I'm not mistaken, in Orleans as well. So shout out to Yuck Yucks for branching out within Ottawa as well, man, because I have yet to go out there, because I will admit, I live in Nepean, so riding the bus all the way to New Orleans is like, I probably won't even make it in time for the comedy show. But one day I'll make it out to Orleans, but shout out to them for actually branching off out here in Ottawa.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually haven't been there either, so I don't know about that one.
But with that being said, Aaron, aside from the new talent showcase going on this Wednesday night, again, message me for tickets, all I'm going to say. But with that being said, what is next for yourself when it comes to your music and comedy? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview that you still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? But we still got you here live on 99.9 FM tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I got a couple shows coming up this week. So if you're in Ottawa and you're down near Ottawa U, No Forks Given, every Tuesday night they do a free show there. So a lot of great people dropping in to work on stuff there. I'll be there Tuesday night. And then Friday, if you're in Osgood, Ontario, I'll be at the Friendly Fork featuring on that show. Saturday, I'll be at Portage Orchard in Gatineau, closing down that show. So never been to two of those venues, so who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm sure they're going to be great shows. That's it. In terms of going forward, again, my plan this year is to do more sketches and stuff like that. I also got we're kind of got the ball rolling on a bit of a podcast idea. It's hasn't been officially announced yet or whatever, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but look forward to it. In the next, I'd say maybe month or two, we should be able to release that. And so, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing for the next few months anyway. And pretty excited about it. So stay tuned. Give me a follow. Keep in touch and come see a show.
It definitely sounds like 2026 is actually going to be a phenomenal year for yourself, man. You know, you got a lot of shows, you got that podcast coming up. It definitely sounds like 2026 is a year of Aaron Hill, man. And I love seeing people out there in Brockville succeeding, man. You know, let's put our hometown on the map, dude.
I appreciate your support, dude. And it's, you know, right back at you. It's really cool to see you doing your thing, right? Like you got your whole system set up here, and it's, you're just a one-man show, and props to you. I love the moxie. I love the drive, and it's contagious, right? So I like seeing people do stuff, create stuff, succeed, and yeah, keep on doing what you're doing, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I will say, you know, when I was in my early 20s, it was so easy to do 7 jobs in one. Then when you start getting older, you're sitting back and you're like, my God. Like, this is so much easier 10 years ago. So, I mean, I definitely feel the wear and tear effects actually going. But I'm a well-oiled machine, so I'll keep going until the wheels fall off.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah.
Before we actually part ways tonight, Aaron, obviously I know how to follow you across social media. For people listening to the radio station all across the world tonight, how do they go about following yourself across social media? And of course, watching some of your comedy sketches if they unfortunately cannot make it to in and around the nation's capital of Ottawa?
Yeah, for sure. My YouTube channel is Aaron Hill Endeavors. So AARONHILL Endeavors, however you spell that, I'm not sure. Facebook is just Aaron Hill. And then Instagram, Aaron Hill, or at Aaron Hill 13. So that's more or less where I'm at. I don't really do the Twitter. I don't really do the TikToks. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Insta and Facebook.
And I got to say, Aaron, again, thank you so much for your time, man. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm definitely sure I'll see you at Yuck Yucks again very soon because, you know, I'm always out there showing up. So I'll see you at your next show, and looking forward to catching up with you then, man. But for now, have yourself a phenomenal Sunday night and a great rest of your week, and of course, safe travels back and forth to Ottawa and of course to Gatineau as well.
For sure, buddy. Appreciate the support. It's always good to see you out there. And thanks for having me on, buddy. This was really cool. And again, just keep rocking it in 2026.
Hey, man, same for you as well. If anything you need radio-wise, let me know. And anytime you want to come back on, man, you always have a home here on Punk World Radio, man. So you let me know, and we'll make it happen, Aaron. But for now, have yourself a phenomenal night, dude.
Right on, buddy. Have a good one.